Today we want to celebrate Tommy May. Tommy May is a wonderful Aboriginal artist, and he has been a friend for, over 30 years. I first met him in Fitzroy Crossing in Western Australia, and at the time he was painting wonderful big paintings in bright oranges and greens, and he was a leader of his community. He's a Wangkajunga man, and he was born near Christmas Station. I'm thinking about Tommy a lot today because I'm so proud of him. He has just won the National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Awards in Australia for a beautiful minimal work where he has engraved into a metal plate. It's particularly lovely because Tommy has said that he has been wanting to win this prize for 30 years. And sometimes he's come second, and sometimes he's come fourth, and sometimes he hasn't even been in the running. But it's just marvellous that I think he must be, no one quite knows how old he is, because he was born in a very remote place in the desert, but he's definitely maybe 90, and so to win this prize is just such a marvellous accolade, and it just shows you never give up. Anyway, a bit about Tommy. The piece that he won the prize for was one of these extraordinary metal engravings, and I was really surprised when Tommy started doing this because, as you can see, his original work was great big canvases. And then he moved into doing these very beautiful lino cuts and lithographs, which are just wonderful. Now, all of these pictures, which to us look very abstract, are actually depictions of his country. They are the Gila, the waterholes, and the Gilgi, the sand dunes, which cross the Central Australian desert. And I don't know, those of you that have flown over Australia and looked out the plane window will have seen these orange ridges that just go on for miles and miles and miles as you fly over them. And some of them are 4 meters high. I mean, it is an incredibly beautiful, harsh, but to us, inhospitable landscape. But to Tommy and the Wangkajunga people, it's just not. For them, it is a living and extraordinary place. And Tommy told me that sometimes they would go under the sand. They would make a big tunnel under the sand to go and find water to drink, and they would have to have a fire at the entrance of the tunnel. And they knew where in this desert that to us looks, we wouldn't last for 24 hours. They knew how to go under the sand, stay cool during the burning hot day, and find water. And so these beautiful marks, which just are so lyrical. This is actually an etching that Tommy did, probably in 1998. I think we had this in our very first show of his work. Golly, 1998, how long ago is that? Over 20 years. Oh, seems like yesterday. Anyway, when I last saw Tommy, it was in New York in February this year. I nearly had a heart attack. This beautiful old man in a wheelchair came wheeling down the aisle of an art fair right in the middle of New York City, looking handsome, beautifully dressed, his hat, his scarf, and it was Tommy May. I just couldn't believe it, and it was so special to see him. And he was exhibiting some of his work at a museum in New York. But I think that these new pieces are really extraordinary. He's edited out anything superfluous, and because now he's so old, he almost can't be bothered to etch the plate and then print it on paper. Now he just wants that immediacy, and the strength of his mark making has never changed, and the confidence. He literally takes the metal plate, sits in his wheelchair and scratches into it in a really extraordinary way. And you can read the Gilgi as though you were a bird flying over the Central Australian desert. Yeah, one of his new pieces. I just think, again, this is so beautiful. He did this in 2017, and I got it when I went to Australia, and I was so to see him and the Fitzroy Crossing mob, and I was just so astonished at the inventiveness of this octogenarian man to have the courage to just do this and say, now it's finished. And again, you can see his wonderful sense of colour. Orange and green have always been two of his favourite colours. Tommy May, I'll send you this, but I just want to say hello from London. I'm so proud of you. You're amazing. And do it again, Tommy.